For the last 2 years, I have been struggling to breed my Plumhead Parakeets. I've had mistake after mistake after mistake. So this year I decided to try something completely different. I pulled every single egg that these birds laid and decided to artificially incubate them at home. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because Plumhead Parakeets only lay one clutch per year. So if you don't get it right, you have to wait till the following season. And after 2 failed years, I've decided to take matters into my own hands. And everything was working just fine until recently. Let me explain to you guys the very first issue that we're having with the eggs inside of the incubator. A few weeks ago, I said in one of my videos that we often learn the most from our mistakes. You guys remember that? And usually the best way of learning is by failing, because we often learn the most from our mistakes. And here we are now with our very first mistake of the season. And to understand what happened and how I made this mistake, we have to rewind a little bit and go back and check out pair number 4 of the Plumheads. Moving on to my last Plumhead pair. Here we have the male outside, and I know the female on this pair is inside of the nest. She's incubating. She's the first one every single season to lay eggs. So let's check her out real quick and see how she's doing in there. And you can see Mama, she's in there. She's incubating. She has 4 eggs so far, and they seem to be all 4 fertile. They seem very dark in color. So she's been doing a good job at incubating. Now, originally the plan was to leave the eggs underneath of that hen and let her incubate all the way to the point where the chicks hatched, and then I would pull them out. But then I got freaked out, and plans change sometimes. What I ended up doing was, I got freaked out. I said I was gonna let her incubate because she's very good at incubating. But I didn't want to risk it. I just took them home. They've been in the incubator for the last 3 or 4 days now. All 4 eggs are fertile, so we're looking good. And everything seemed to be working just fine for the very first week. The eggs were fertile by the time that they got here. The embryo was developing. And just a few days ago, when I went to check these eggs and candle them once again, I noticed that only 2 of them were good. The other 2 we lost along the way. Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure how that happened, but I do kind of have a theory of what it could have been. And it was either one of 2 things. Maybe the mother was incubating at a certain temperature versus the temperature of the incubator. Maybe it was different, but it doesn't explain why 2 eggs would survive and the other 2 wouldn't. The other theory that I have is that maybe as I transferred them from the farm over to the house, maybe I mishandled them. I have no idea. I don't know. But we lost 2. Which brings us to Plumhead pair number 1. Now I'm running kind of a very similar situation that I had with Plumhead pair number 4, which is that this female has already started incubating. She only has 3 eggs, but she's been incubating for the last 2 to 3 days. She started incubating when the second egg was laid. And I've already seen that the eggs look a bit dark, so I can imagine that that might be because they are in the early stages of the embryo developing. And I don't want to run the risk of moving these guys the same way that I did with moving the eggs from pair number 4 and ruining them. Wow, that's a hard word. It shouldn't be that hard to say. Ruining them en route to the house. So for now, or until they hatch, they're gonna stay here. Now moving along, we have Plumhead pair number 2. And this is the Lutino hen, and these guys have been doing great. I started to take these eggs to the house every time that she laid a new one. So they weren't fertile during the time that I transported them. So it's time to go back home and check on the progress of those eggs to see if any of them are fertile. We have 6 of them inside of the incubator, but before we do that, let's take a look at her real quick. She's in here currently incubating fake dummy eggs. And you can see that she is not too happy about us checking her. Now you can see the dud eggs that are underneath her. I left 3. And the reason I did this is because if anything goes wrong with the incubator, I can always bring them back here and she will take care of the chicks since she's still going through the incubation process. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous to candle the eggs for Plumhead pair number 2, which is the Lutino hen and the split to Lutino male. This is the very first time that I'm gonna do it, guys. I am seeing it just as you guys. I have not candled any of them. I have 6 eggs in here from that pair, and I have no idea if any of them are fertile. So fingers crossed for fertility, please. There's something almost magical about this moment, a quiet check behind the scenes of life itself. Every egg holds a question, a possibility, and today we finally get some answers. Candling lets us look beyond the shell, using nothing more than light to reveal what the eyes normally can't see: veins, movement, growth, the first signs that a new life is beginning. Out of 6 eggs, 4 are developing beautifully. Strong veins spreading like tiny branches of a tree, a clear sign of fertility and healthy progress. Moments like this never get old. No matter how many times I do it, seeing life forming inside of something so small still feels unreal. One egg tells a different story, an early term embryo that didn't make it. Not every attempt succeeds. Nature decides its own outcome, and every loss is a reminder of how fragile this process really is. And then there's one more egg, still a mystery. It needs a few more days in the incubator before we know for sure. All right, and there you have it. 6 eggs. Out of the 6, 4 are fertile. There was 5, but one of them died along the way. The 6th egg I brought about 2 days ago, so it probably has a good 4 more days in the incubator before we can check to see if it's fertile or not. Hopefully that one turns out to be fertile as well, and hopefully all 5 of them make it all the way up to the point of hatching, because that is the pair that has me the most excited this breeding season. I want to hopefully hatch some Lutinos from that pair. So let's see what happens. Now I'm gonna show you pair number 3 from the Plumheads, and pair number 3 is a very young pair. The male is around 2 years old. He still doesn't even have his head colors yet. He has a little bit of the red patches coming in on the wings, and the female is a bit older. Pair number 3. And we got some eggs. We're actually gonna be taking these home with us because she hasn't started her incubation process. This year I chose a different approach. After 2 seasons of failed hatchings, I wasn't willing to leave things to chance anymore. Every egg is carefully removed from the nest and placed into artificial incubation, where temperature, humidity, and timing can be controlled perfectly. Each shell now carries a second opportunity, not just for new life, but for a better outcome than the years before. Sometimes success comes from learning when to change the process and trusting the lessons failure teaches. So over the last couple of days, I have collected all of the eggs from Plumhead pair number 3. They're all in the incubator, and so are all the other eggs from the Plumhead, with the exception of Plumhead pair number 1, which I am letting her incubate. It is now up to the incubator to do its job and hopefully help those eggs get from the early stages of embryo development all the way to the point where they hatch. And actually, within the next 2 to 3 days, we should have the first eggs from Plumhead pair number 4 hatching. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be updated when the next video drops, because I have a feeling that in the next video, we're gonna get to see some chicks hatching inside of that incubator. Fingers crossed. Until then, guys, we'll see each other in the next one. Bye.